Hey, yo, hey, what's up? Okay, so here's my quick list of top games to panic buy before the Nintendo eShop closes. Specifically the 3DS/Wii U shop. First of all, can I say how sad this is? Let's just really quickly talk about that. I already almost crapped my pants when this happened with the PlayStation Store. Yeah, the PS3 store. Thank goodness gracious that they chose not to follow through with shutting down the PS3 store and the PS Vita store. We did lose the PSP store, but you can still buy PSP games on the PS Vita store, so. But still, that whole thing made me drop a ton of money on a bunch of PS3 games and PS Vita games. And even though that was just a scare, now we're here, for real. I've known that this has been coming for over a year now, I think, right? And that hasn't really helped too much. It's helped a little bit in the sense that I've known for so long, so little by little, I've been whittling down my list of games that I need to buy. And obviously, I don't even feel like I need to say this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This is my list of games that I chose to buy now, just in case I do ever wanna play them and I don't wanna have to pay a super jacked up price for a physical copy or download them and play them illegally on an emulator. I'm not gonna comment too much on the emulator thing. The only thing that I'm gonna say is I like it so much more on the actual console that it's meant to be on. So here is my list of games that I panic bought before the Nintendo eShop closes. Remember, this is my personal list of top games that I panic bought.
Odds are 99% of the games on this list I got from other videos that I've also seen or online somewhere. It's just a little personal insight on the games or DLCs or whatever the hex that I bought on the eShop on the off chance you haven't thought about it, or if you just kind of want to give some back and forth in the comments and be like, yo, I love that game too and I had to get it. So don't be a poopy baby in the comments who's like, oh, this is such an original list of games. Little poopy baby.
So I'm gonna start off with the Wii U games because I didn't end up getting too many, but there were some that I think are extremely important. The Zelda games, Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD, specifically those two.
Okay, now I know that the odds of them releasing a remaster for this on the Switch are pretty high. At least I would hope, because these are classics. For the time being, these games have not come out on Switch yet, so I would jump on them now.
Now I am one of those sad gamers who hasn't played all of these Zelda games yet. That I'm trying to, and I know I want to, and I'm gonna get to them. So this is my chance to hop on these games, because here's how much it costs to get a physical copy of this game as of now, before the shop closes. This is specifically for Twilight Princess HD. Here's how much Wind Waker costs if you try to get a physical copy, and here's how much they cost on the eShop. So, and remember, with all of these prices, the physical copies are only gonna get that much more expensive once they're literally the only way to play the games legally. Next set of games. Okay, then we have the Metroid Prime trilogy. Now they did just come out the remaster for the very first one, which I'm extremely excited about. This doesn't guarantee me that they'll bring out the second and the third one, so just to be safe, I got the trilogy. It was less than $20 anyways for 3 games, so I said, why the heck not? Here's how much a physical copy will cost you right now, and here's how much it currently costs on the store. Last game that I personally panic bought was Xenoblade X. Again, Xenoblade Chronicles you can now get for the Nintendo Switch Remastered, and I personally think that's the best, most definitive way to play the game. But Xenoblade X, we have no guarantee that there's gonna be a remaster of this game, and I hear it's beautiful and it has its place in the Xenoblade universe. Remember, a lot of these games are games that I haven't played yet, but I know I'm gonna want to someday, and I don't want to fork over hundreds and hundreds of dollars to purchase one game. So I'd rather just rip the band-aid off now. So while there are many more Wii U games that you might be interested in, these were my personal top 3 that I had to grasp before anything else. You should also consider maybe getting the Mystery Dungeon games. They're each less than $10, and if you weren't able to copy yourself a Nintendo DS copy, this could be an option for you to play them as well. I have my DS copies, luckily. Oh yeah, one more thing to add in there. To buy these games right now, it is March. You have until March 27th, remember that. As of right now, for me, it's March 2nd. When I tried buying these games yesterday on the Wii U, it being March 1st, it is so hard to buy them. I was not expecting it to be so hard for me to purchase these games. I knew buying them was gonna be hard because I had to let go of money, but I didn't think the actual process of going into the Nintendo Wii U shop would be hard or complicated. It took me multiple tries of opening up the eShop, because every time I opened up the eShop and clicked on the game that I wanted, before it got to the proceed to purchase screen, it would crash. The Wii shop kept popping up this error message that said, oh, our servers are really saturated right now, or there's some other kind of issue going on, and it would just close out of the Wii shop for me. It got to a point where I'd already transferred the funds that I needed to the account, which by the way, really quickly gonna throw that in there. Only way to buy Wii U games and Nintendo 3DS games is by putting money into your Nintendo Switch Nintendo account and making sure that that account is linked with your 3DS/Wii U Nintendo network account. I'm gonna link a video down below to show you how to do that. It's not that hard, but just know that's the only way to be able to buy these games. It legitimately took me like 30 to 40 minutes of me just reloading and clicking, trying to buy the game.
You gotta be kidding me. By 8 cents? Gotta be joking. Ah! I had to add $10 more. The only positive about this was I ended up with 69, boy. Ha. I just randomly hit A 3 times, like boop, boop, boop. Oh, yeah, last time I got it. This has been an experience and a half. Oh, there we go. That's after another. Okay, so I don't even know. It's booting me out again. Okay, so now the new game that we're playing is, let's see how far we can get into the game purchasing process. Where what? Out of the shop multiple times because it says that either the servers are struggling or they're highly saturated. It is February. No, it's March 1st. I guess it's March 1st. So this is the month where this is all gonna end. Yeah, no, it's not letting me it's not letting me progress. The servers are super saturated. I was already able to buy all my 3DS games that I want to buy. I just have one more game on the Wii U that I want to purchase. That's it. And I'm trying to get there.
I don't know if maybe the servers are better now, or I don't know if it was just really unlucky when I was doing it, but good luck. Let me know how it works out for you all. Oh, another little piece of advice, and this goes both for the Nintendo 3DS and the Wii U. Make sure that you have enough storage available when you're gonna purchase the games. This is the silliest thing ever, and while I understand it, it was so frustrating. If you try to purchase a Nintendo 3DS game or a Wii U game and you don't have the storage on your console, it's gonna take you to a screen that says you don't have enough storage, and it's gonna, do you wanna go manage your storage and delete some games or something? And every time you go into that screen and delete some games to make some space, you go back and you have to reopen the shop. It was so frustrating.
Mostly because these shops load so slowly. So if you have a good amount of games to buy, you gotta have to make time for them. Another thing I kept doing was after purchasing the game, I'd make sure to instantly go and cancel the download, because if you don't cancel the download, it's not gonna let you download or buy more games, because it's gonna be like, oh, the storage is already being used, and trust me, it was annoying.
So my advice is, before doing this, delete any games that you have on your 3DS or your Wii U, and then go purchase the game. Cause man, was it so frustrating when I was finally making progress towards buying the Xenoblade game, and right when I hit the next button, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna buy the game. It didn't let me buy the game because there wasn't enough storage on my device. Anyways, moving on from the Nintendo Wii U. For my Nintendo 3DS, again, let's knock out the obvious ones. Any Zelda game. While I do feel like buying some of these remasters of old Zelda games aren't going for too much money if you want a physical copy, you can bet your sweet cheeks I'm not gonna risk. Once the shop goes down and the only way to play these remasters are with a physical copy, that price is gonna skyrocket. So this is how much they cost now if you want to get a physical copy, and this is how much they cost currently on the Nintendo eShop. My next set of game are any Dragon Quest games. There's at least 2 Dragon Quest games that are currently $40 if you get them on the eShop. And here's how much they cost if you try to get them like a physical legit copy. And don't even get me started whether it's Japanese or if it's like an original American copy. It's a lot of money. So if you like the Dragon Quest series and you'd like to go back and play some of these other games at some point, I highly recommend you cop these 2 now. Next, all the exclusive Shin Megami Tensei games that are on the 3DS. That includes Shin Megami Tensei 4, Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor Overlocked, Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker, Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux, Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse, Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Soul Hackers. Wow. Now, while the price for all of these games vary, because they're Shin Megami Tensei's, the vast majority of them, right now you can get anywhere between $20-ish to $40-ish on the eShop, and if you try to get a physical copy, they're all between $80 to upwards of $100 and something if you want to get a physical copy of these games. So there's that whole section. Then you have the Bravely Default games. Again, these aren't like you need to get them now on the eShop, because as of now they're not too bad physically. I did, just to be safe, I already had a physical copy of the first one, and I went ahead and got myself a Bravely Second End Layer just to be safe, because I could see the physical amount start to rise a little bit. So just to be safe, I got myself the eShop digital download version. Following along with Atlas games, you have Persona Q2 Persona Q, Shadow of the Labyrinth, and Persona Q2, New Cinema Labyrinth. While these are Persona games, they're a little bit different, they're really cute, and I think they're must grabs if you're a fan of the Persona game. These games do something that I love when any game series does, which is bring in multiple characters from different games in the series and have them play together and be in this world together. See them interact with each other and be on the same team. Since I'm already playing through all the Persona games, or at least that's the plan, these games seem like such a good treat, especially when I got a little bit deeper into like how they actually played. A physical copy will run you this much, while an eShop copy will run you this much, so something to consider if you're a fan of Persona. We then have an interesting one called Monster Hunter Stories. Again, kind of like a Pokemon spin-off of the original, you know the original Monster Hunter games where you just go and kill giant monsters. This is like a more kid-friendly version where you get to kind of do like a Pokemon thing. It's a little bit, again, kid-friendlier, kind of cuter, but you get to just control these monsters and have a team of them. Another game series that I really want to dive deep into at some point. I already have the second one for the Switch already too, but I have to get this right now because a physical copy of this game will cost you this much, while the eShop version costs you this much. Haha, then you have Pokemon Yellow version and Pokemon Crystal version. Really any of the Pokemon, older Pokemon games that you want to get on the Nintendo 3DS. And mostly because that is the only way to play these games on the 3DS. And not just that, I wanted to make sure to grab one of each version because the only way I could ever transfer Pokemon from this old, from like Gen 1 and 2, to the Pokebank and the Poketransporter, which make sure you download those too, those are free, because you won't be able to download them once the shop closes. So if you got them, yay, and you didn't, but boo-hoo. That is the only way to transfer Pokemons from these generations up into the newer games. If you want them to be Gen 1 and 2, you want them to be legit, make sure you get yourself a copy of Pokemon Yellow, Crystal, Red, Blue, whatever. Since we're on the whole Pokemon boat, you should also download the Pokemon Sun and Moon Special Demo if you want to get Ash Greninja. I think Ash Greninja is so dope, and if you don't have the demo and you don't download it when you have the chance, you won't be able to ever get it. And lastly, but definitely not least, Fire Emblem. I'll start off with the games. If you haven't picked up either Fire Emblem Conquest, Birthrights, Fire Emblem Conquest, Birthright, and Revelation. Fire Emblem Birthright and Fire Emblem Conquest, you can still get a physical copy for it. Fire Emblem Revelations, there is no physical copy you can get. Unless you get the super expensive special edition that comes with it, the only way you can really get it is by buying it through the shop. So if you want to experience that third path of this game, make sure you get it now, because you won't get a chance later on. And lastly, along with the Fire Emblem train, I got all the Fire Emblem DLC that I could get. All of it for Echoes, all of it for Awakening, and all of it for Fate/Birthright/Revelation. Man, there was so much money that I ended up dropping this not just on the DLC alone, that's something that definitely added up, just in general with this whole experience, man. For this one, I had a lot more time to be more selective of the games that I wanted, not just that, spread the money out across, a year or whatever. Here's how much I actually ended up spending on all these games. Again, I didn't end up spending all this money today or yesterday, some of it yesterday, but most of it just kind of spread out throughout the whole year. Here's how much money it would have cost me if I would have bought them now, like a physical version of them. Not to mention the fact that that's gonna skyrocket up once the shop officially closes, leading to this is how much money I saved for ultimately getting them on the eShop and not waiting to get a physical copy later. So, wow. Anyways, that pretty much does it for this video. Please let me know what are some of your top picks of panic buys from the Nintendo either 3DS shop or Wii U shop. I'd love to know what everyone else is panicking about. Again, remember this was my list of games that I panic bought. It's a recommendation for you all, but I'm sure you all have many more games and I'd love for you to tell me about them down in, I almost said description, down in the comments. Anyways, Wolfpack, thank you all so much for watching. I love you, Wolfpack, and I will see you all next time. Take more of my money, Nintendo. Just take more